Hello, and welcome back everyone. Today we'll be doing an in-depth PvP Masterclass for Necro. I was incredibly fortunate to sit down with Sugarat, who was willing to share in immense detail all the choices and reasons behind his build. He was also kind enough to share his screen, allowing me to watch some gameplay so I could pass as much information along as possible to the community. Sugarat is one of the most knowledgeable players in the game in regard to mechanics, and if you'd like to pick Sugarat's brain yourself, you can find him on Twitch here, and I'll also leave the link in the description below. Let's begin with the build itself. Wraith Form. Paired with Proximal Fear, it's a staple for PvP builds, giving you both mobility along with one of the best crowd control abilities in the game. Well-positioned and well-timed fears can easily sway individual battles or potentially even the match in your favor. Corpse Lance. We're using Gallowsborn to generate additional corpses, and the number of corpses that are generated are dependent on how far you travel, so things like movement speed and increased beneficial effect duration are valuable. Bone Spikes. Hideous Dawning for the bleed, which deals solid damage over time, and doesn't require the enemy to stay in the area of effect, which is favorable for PvP with a lot of players moving. We also have Abnegation for the additional knockback, which can remove uncontrollable or potentially interrupt casts. Bone Armor. Just the base version without any essences here. Both primary abilities can be used depending on your preference or the matchup. For main hand, you can use Revenant Wind to buff Wraith Form since there is no Soulfire essence, or you can use Blightmaw to buff Bone Spear. For shield, we have the Baleful Trinity to buff Soulfire. A good option here is using both Blightmaw and Baleful Trinity and swapping your primary once you see the matchup within the game, as the Revenant Wind essence is better than nothing, but it isn't build breaking if unused. For sets, 2-piece Barons and 2-piece Vithus are the foundation, allowing the remaining 2 slots to maximize customization. Being a Necro, potency and resistance are the best 2 secondary stats, and it's beneficial to have as many yellow sockets as possible. So configure your green pieces and use the combination that allows you to do this if possible. In an ideal world, 4-piece Barons and 2-piece Vithus is best, but it's unrealistic for many to have this combination while maintaining maximum yellow sockets. For legendary gems, the best 5 are Blood-Soaked Jade, Seething Bile, Chip of Stone Flesh, Bottled Hope, and Frozen Heart. The 6th slot isn't valued quite as high as the others, but it's currently Echoing Shade. Some very strong and notable 2 stars are Abiding Curse and Cure Sling, if you don't have access to the 5 stars. Since the gems could easily make up their own video, I'd prefer to answer questions in the comments about them if you have any, so that we can continue. On our primary gear, we're looking for certain invocations over magic affixes. Specifically, we're looking for 2 from each of the following invocations: chance when dealing damage, causing an enemy loss of control, and chance when being attacked. This helps balance the loadout and keep your ancestral power, which damages and stuns enemies, going off at a time that you can capitalize on it. If you're lucky enough to have the luxury of choosing between pieces with these invocations and fairly equal combat rating, the best 2 magic affixes are movement speed up to 20% and increased beneficial effect duration. Family bonuses. We're using 4 pieces with the Vengeance family and 2 pieces with the Jolt family, with increased attack speed, increased damage to shielded enemies, and increased damage to enemies suffering from loss of control on the Vengeance pieces. We're not using increased damage to players because it was bugged at the time this video was made. For the Jolt family, we're using decreased damage while suffering loss of control, reduced damage from players, and increased beneficial effect duration. For Warband rooms, the preferred room is the attacker one, with 3.5% damage, with priority to Typhorus and Collar of Brutus for Remnants. Additional Remnants aren't harmful, but these are the most important ones to have. For Paragon trees, we'll activate both Gladiator and either Mastermind or Duelist, depending on your party comp and whether you have enough points in Duelist to make it beneficial. The benefits of swapping between these and even other trees, depending on your class, could also be its own video, but the reason to swap is if the scenario gives more value having another tree active while Cheat Death is on cooldown. Armed with information and new life within the class, let's take a look at some gameplay. Please keep in mind, I personally play all classes to help create content for the community, so I haven't fully respec'd my Paragon trees, reforged my primary gear, or leveled additional 5-star gems to match exactly. Alright, we have a match on offense, and I've gone with Soulfire for this one, based on what the enemies have for comp. Also, my other best 2 set pieces happen to complete 4-piece Vithus, since I crafted so many before swapping to Necro from Wizard. So let's see if we can showcase this build properly here, so you can get a good idea of how to use it effectively. Enemy stacking bottom. One headed this way. Going to engage when they come. Leave some corpses here in case they return.
That ability must recharge. I must wait, it seems.
Quickly turning into a brawl now.
Without a corpse, I cannot.
Doing well at avoiding damage while staying mobile.
That ability must recharge.
Going to cut off the resers. Sugarat was pretty adamant about early deaths being okay, provided it allows your team to finish the Guardians in phase 1. Monk's going to be tough. Unfortunate proc.
That ability must recharge. Death is patient.
Alright, we did it. Just take a look at the map as I get caught up. I was pretty focused on the stool. Okay, a couple of kills by my team. Looks like we might get through. Invisible wall. My team is heavy on the other side, so I'm going to push solo for now until somebody swaps with me. Barb, going to whittle him down and wait out the Undying. Landed a fear, that's big in the mirror match. Teammates stopped one at the bridge, let's see what happens. Wraithing through the black hole.
That ability must recharge.
Dodges the incoming Wraith. Need to juke for cooldowns. Nice, my teammate rezzed.
Is patient. I am injured.
Death is down, and I'd swap Paragon trees here if I was spec'd properly according to the guide. But since I cover all classes and content, please bear with me.
I must wait, it seems.
Big Dog giving the universal sign that he'll take over by running in circles. Looking to hold the spawn here. Double Necro.
Is patient.
Barb now. Just dancing around really, and stalling since both idols are pushed fairly far. Just trying to be a distraction.
That requires a corpse. I must wait, it seems. Give it more time.
No, so close. Headed right again in hopes that they over-rotate.
That ability must recharge. No, not yet.
Alright, we got it. Well played,
Corpse
team.
for that.
Feels rare that the split push works anymore.
I need aid.
I got Necro sandwich. Help clear this out and push as a team if possible.
Is patient. That requires a corpse. I must wait, it seems.
Gonna push in deep and get right in the mix to be a nuisance.
Without a corpse, I cannot. Give it more
Good game. And huge thank you to Sugarat for sharing the build with me so that I can share it with the community. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and have a great day.